Once you fucking go. Like 5 minutes away.
All right. Thanks everyone for coming. By now we all know what's gonna happen here. Don't really have a speech or anything planned, but I'm gonna try my best not to cry. Really special moment for me. Never given a black belt before. Owen's one of my best friends and closest training partners, and someone who really embodies what jiu-jitsu is, because he's a competitor, he teaches, helps me run the program, amazing instructor, a really good dude, and just an awesome guy to be around. It's a special moment, and as soon as I started making this group, saying, hey, Saturday, we're gonna blow his mind, it's gonna be, halfway through his class, we'll come in and just storm the dojo, and everyone was on board. Everyone is so excited, and we can, even just looking at the color of your belt, we can tell it's time to. You got a gray belt. There's a guy shared hotel rooms with this guy on trips, gone through battles with this guy in the gym and in competition, and I can honestly say that he's shown through character and ability on the mats as an instructor, as a practitioner, that he's ready for the black belt. And hopefully I'm ready to give you a black belt. And man, I really don't have much else to say, and I'm super proud of who you are as a grappler, as a person. It's an honor to do this, and it's time for you to get your black belt, bro. It shouldn't be like that. I can do this too. Speech?
I'm fucking nervous now. Yeah, I guess I'll start with some thank yous, and then I'll just say a few words. So obviously, thank you everyone so much for coming out. It means a lot to me. It's a great pleasure for me to come in here every day and train with so many people who are like-minded and want to problem solve and kind of go through the battles together. Thank you for everyone that made it out. It means a lot. Obviously, thanks to Matt. Everyone knows what this guy's done for the community and how good of a grappler and instructor he is. So to get my black belt from him is a big honor. Initially, we started as training partners, and the first thing I kind of learned from him was how to be a good training partner. Never hold anything back from your teammates. Always try to help everybody progress as much as possible and make everybody in the room, their progress rise, right? And then when I started getting more into competing, I was kind of looking at him and just watching how he was always the first one on the mats, training the whole time, never took any rounds off, didn't matter how tired he was always pushing himself to be the best he could be, and I was watching that and following that. And then later on, once he opened On Guard and became more of a full-time instructor, I used to come out to his classes and just be mind blown, like, holy fuck, this guy is such a good teacher. Like, I hope that one day I can kind of emulate some of that. So kind of throughout the journey, he's been different things to me, and obviously become one of my best friends. So it means the world to me to get my black belt from you, Matt. Thank you very much. I gotta thank Edith, like the best partner I could ever ask for, right? Some people in here know how useless I can be without Edith. Since we started training, I was a blue belt. She never complained about me training all the time. I had other people being like, oh, like, doesn't your girlfriend care that you're training all the time? I'm like, I don't know. She just like accepts it and like always took care of me, helped me cut weight, came to tournaments with me, you know, was just the best support system I could ask for. So thank you, Edith. Thanks, John, my coach from White to Brown. Learned a ton from John about jiu-jitsu, about life, about pressure. Like some of you feel my cross face, that's all from John. He's someone who kind of like lives his life by a code, which I really respect. And we always had a good connection because I feel like in some ways we kind of come from the same place in some regards. So he's someone that I care about deeply, and it means the world to me that you're here today and that I could train with you for so long and still consider you one of my coaches. So thank you very much, John. Thanks to Rafael. Rafael, man, this guy, like, John made me start coaching kids class with Rafael. I didn't want to fucking do that, and then he's like, oh, it's like basically like, yo, we need you to help out. I'm like, okay, fine. Like I didn't really know Rafael, and then after a few weeks, I'm like, oh, this guy's really cool, and I asked him to start coming in early with me and train with me, and he did. And like, dude, like he would just fuck me up. Like my head would be like, woo, woo, woo. Like I was dizzy and shit. I couldn't see straight. But he was coaching me at the same time. You know, take this grip, do this. And people don't know, like, at one point when I was a purple belt, John had to go to Depot for RCMP. And I didn't really have like a gi coach. So I was still coming to On Guard twice a week for no gi. But I didn't really have a gi coach, and Rafael was training for Masters World, so he started training with Jason Gagnon once a week, which meant he couldn't come train with me. And I was kind of like, dude, like I don't have anybody helping me out right now, like I need you. And this guy like totally just took to it, started basically canceled training with Jason, kept training with me. It's probably why he didn't win Masters Worlds that year. It's fucking my fault. But just shows you what kind of a guy he is. Like a huge mentor to me on and off the mats. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks to Rob for coming out all the way from the island. Rob came and taught a seminar when I was a white belt at Birmingham BJJ. Taught us all about alignment. I won't pretend to like understand it. I didn't understand it all at the time. But I just kept that as a framework in my head, you know, and I just kept trying to think about it. And now it you know, more than like coaching me on the mats, just his idea of alignment, and it kind of just, it gave me a way to see jiu-jitsu, to understand why things were working, why they weren't working. So that was very valuable, and I appreciate you coming out, Rob. And then yeah, just thanks to all my training partners. Like I said, oh there you are, Rob, sorry. Just like all my training partners, like I said, yeah, it's a huge honor to just come in here and get to work with so many people, and jiu-jitsu is a weird sport because it's like it's an individual sport. We all have our own story, and if you're a competitor, obviously you're out there by yourself, but it's a team sport too because you all have to work together to get better. And I take a lot of inspiration from training with all of you. Like I don't really look at like world champions and that and take inspiration from that. It's more like the stories that I see on the mats every day. You guys don't know, I learned a lot from all of you. And I think there's no real sport like this where it can have such an effect on your life or help you succeed in life or build as much character as this sport. Like, and that's kind of my story. Like I'm a pretty private person. I don't talk too much about like my personal life or my past, but yeah, like I don't want to be dramatic. It's not like I grew up in the ghetto or anything, but there came a point in my life where I was lacking certain things and I was kind of looking for direction in the wrong areas. And when I was a young dude, like I used to get into a ton of trouble, you know, and sometimes I look back and I'm like, holy fuck, like there's so many circumstances where if this one thing had gone different, that blah, 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 like I probably wouldn't be here. You know, when I was in my early 20s, I was kind of trying to make a change. I was like 23, I was trying to figure my shit out, and I bumped into Zach, my buddy Zach, right? He's like, oh, I was buying protein powder. He's like, oh, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I was like, fuck, I always wanted to do jiu-jitsu, but I didn't know anybody that did jiu-jitsu. So he took me to my first class. I remember like I armbarred some dude in the first class and I was hooked and I was like, this is awesome. And then from there, it was weird. It was just like, everything else just started to fall into place. I saw John and Gary, I was like, oh, these guys just like work normal jobs, but they're kind of like ninjas too. Like that's pretty fucking cool. And then I was like, next thing you know, I was like, well, I gotta get a job where I could do jiu-jitsu all the time. So then I went back to school. And when I was in school, it was like, I went from being in high school, I was just like a terrible student, didn't give a shit about anything, to now I was like top of my class. And then everything just snowballed from there. And it was like, I understood like, okay, this is what I have to do to get good at jiu-jitsu. So then this is what I have to do for everything else in life. And it basically, everything else just followed from there. So to kind of separate myself from jiu-jitsu at this point would be impossible. It's like a huge part of who I am. And I'm sorry if I rambled on, but I'm nervous. And yeah, again, thank you so much everyone for coming out. It really means the world to me. And I hope to kind of do this belt the justice it deserves. So thank you.